Hey, what's up guys? Ali here from the AGR studio, and in this lesson we will learn how to model the intricate cable truss in Foster & Partners design for the Ellison Institute of Technology. So the modeling process is pretty simple. Let me show you how. So the first thing that I need to do is to bring in the reference image. So I would click and drag and release it over here, and then I would rotate it 90 degrees and then move it aside. And now I would want to create a triangle. So we want to create this shape. So we need a triangle for that. I would hit Shift plus C to activate the polygon tool. And we would type 3S for 3 sides. And I would hit Control. And I think this size would be enough. And I would move this triangle to over here and scale it down to approximately 0.35. And as you can see here, this edge is divided into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same is over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have 6 divisions at the bottom. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in order to create these divisions, I need to click on the edge first and then right click. As you can see, because it's a polygon, all the edges would be selected if I select one of them. So I would right click and then click on Explode Curve. And now that the curve has been exploded, I can just select these 2 curves and then right click and click on Divide Edges. Divide Edges is a tool from Fredo Tools plugin. If you don't want to use it, you could just use the Divide from Sketchup. But this is not possible to select multiple edges and divide them simultaneously. You just need to select each one of them individually and then click on Divide. So I would use the plugin Fredo Tools, click on Divide Edges, and we would have 4 divisions, as I mentioned, and click on OK. And for the bottom part, we had 6 divisions, so I would right click, and this time I would use the Sketchup tool, which is Divide. And I would move the cursor to the right, and you can see that it's changing. And you can see in the VCB that we have 6, and I would click to confirm this division. And now I need to connect these points. So we have like different endpoints that we can connect them to create these edges and these divisions. So I would click on this endpoint and connect it to this endpoint, and click a second time to connect these 2 vertices, and a third time for these ones. And I would click and create a line connecting these 2 vertices. And I would also, from the midpoint of this edge, I would connect it to this point. As you can see over here, this is from the midpoint. We connected it to this point. And we would want to connect this vertex to this one. So now we have this triangle ready. And I need to create the compression joints. So this one I need to create right now. So in order to create that, I would triple click and turn it into a group, and then right click on one of the axes and click on place, and put the cursor over here and align one of the axes on this edge and the second one on the face. And this would be the shape of the axis. So I would hit R on keyboard to activate the rectangle tool and create a rectangle like this. And I would divide it into 2 parts and delete this part because we want to use the Follow Me tool, and this would create this shape according to that. So I can just move this one a little bit back and then to over here so we see what we're doing exactly. So as you can see, we have one line over here, and then we should go out and then inside again, and then we would go inside, and then from here we have a curve like this. So let me just draw it. We have one edge like this, and then we would go out and then go in again, go in once again, and then we have an arc over here. So this would be the shape. Let me just draw it again like this, and then we would want to bring this one out, inside, in again, and then we have this one. So this is the overall shape that we have. So we need to create it and then use the follow me tool to turn it into a cylinder. So I would do that. I would click here, go up once, and then over here, and create this edge, and once again another edge over here, and it's time for the arc now. Or before I do the arc, I need to have the same shape to the other side. So I can use the flip tool, which is a new tool from Sketchup 2023. So I would bring up the getting started and then click on flip, and we would click and drag on the red plane and place it on the midpoint over here. And this would create a mirror like this. So now I would just click here once and click a second time. Okay, so I forgot to click on hit Control key, and it didn't make a copy of it. So I would undo and do it again. Click on flip, and then hit the Control key this time, and click and drag and place it on the midpoint like this. Now it has made a copy of it. So now I would click on this point and move this arc out like this. And now we can just erase the extra edges. So this is the shape that we have. And I would hit the C on keyboard and hit the right arrow key to align the circle to the red axis. And we would click and drag to create a circle like that. And I would double click on this face, or we could just click on this edge and then hit Control F for the follow me, which I've assigned for the follow me tool, and then hit Control. So I hit Control F and click on this face. And as you can see, this shape has been created. And we can triple click and right click and click on reverse faces. So now that we have this joint over here. So I can triple click and turn it into a group. And now for this part, let us see what we have. Okay, so we have like this shape, and we have a bolt, a hexagon bolt. So we can create that as well. So I would click over here approximately and create a plane by hitting the Control key, and we would have it like that. That's okay. So we can just move this part up a little bit like that, and we could create a line like this, and also we can mirror it. So I would click on flip, and then click and drag, and of course I want to make a copy of it, so I would hit Control key and then move it to this point, so it would make a mirror on this side as well. And I would delete these two edges, and I would want to erase this part, and also I want to mirror it first. So I would click on flip and click and drag and hold the control key or hit the control key and click on this part, and we would erase the extra edges. And now we would want to push pull this face out like this and move this in the blue direction to over here and turn it into a group. And I would make a copy of this one to over here. And also I would hit Y for the X-ray tool. And we want to create the bolt right now. So I want to see inside this point. So I hit Y to activate the X-ray tool, and then I would type Shift plus C to activate the polygon tool. And you can see that it's a triangle right now. I need to hit 6S to turn it into a hexagon. And I would click and drag and create a bolt like this. And then I would push pull it like this, and then move it out to over here. And now we have the bolt. It could actually be a little bit smaller, like that. And then turn it into a group and move it to the other side as well, or copy it to the other side. And we can select all of these parts and turn them into a group. And also we can create a mirror on the other side. So I would hit flip and hit the control key and click and drag and move it approximately to the middle point or the center point of this. So it's not exactly at the center point. We can just move it up and place it where we want to be. Okay, so we would hit M on keyboard and then just move the cursor on this edge, and then we can see the center point, and we move it in the red direction and place it right over here. Okay, now the bolt is exactly where the vertex is. The center point of the bolt is exactly where the vertex is. So now we can just select these three groups and turn them into a new group. And I can make a copy of it to this part. As you can see over here, we have another part right here. So I would select and scale it by half. So I would type 0.5 or just click when it snaps, when it's a half. So now I would move it out from this center point to over here and just move it from this point to this edge and move it once again over here so we have it in the middle. And that's it. Okay, we have created this joint as well, or this part as well. And we need to make a copy of this one to this part. So I would select it and then hit M on keyboard and then move it from that point to this point. And we have all the three parts ready. So now we need to create these joints over here. So I would hit R on keyboard and then hit X-ray or hit Y for the X-ray and then click on this point. And okay, so now the axis is not correct. We want it to be aligned to this edge right over here. So I would right click on one of this axes and then click on place. And then we would place it over here and move it on this direction. So with the red arrow key or the red axis would be placed on this edge, and we would click a second time on this face. And now we can just create the rectangle that we needed. So I would make it this big. And I would also rotate it and make a copy of it to this side and delete the extra edges. All right, now we have our joint ready. Actually, we could have like made it a little bit bigger. So I would draw it again. Maybe like this. A little bit thicker than before. Like that. And then make a copy of it to this side. And then erase the extra edges. Okay, now this is more like the one that we see over here. And I can just make a reference line and then just create a line over here and then just delete the extra edges. And also another one over here. And another one over here. Okay, so now we have this part ready, and I would just push pull it. And triple click and turn it into a group. And just make a copy of it to this part. I would hit Y for the X-ray so I can see this point. And I would select it from this point and move it and copy it to this point. And I would rotate it from the same point. Click on this midpoint over here and move it to be aligned with this edge. And now I would just want to scale it and mirror it like this. And it would be aligned with this edge. And we would make a copy of this one as well to place it over here like that. And for this upper part, we can do the same thing. So I would right click on one of the axes and click on reset. And now I would create a rectangle like this, or actually we could use this one as well. So I would just move this one to this part and then just rotate it to be aligned with this edge, and also make a copy of it. To be placed like this. And we could just cut the extra parts by using the S4U slice like this, and also this one. Okay, let us see this part once again. Okay, so we have it kind of correct. So I would also want to... Okay, I just need to undo two steps, because I need it to be in parallel projection, because the cut tool must be in parallel projection, so it would be the same cut on the other side. So if we don't do that, like if we're in the perspective view, let me show you what happens. Like if we look at it from this side and then we cut it like this, then as you can see, the edge is not like direct. It has an angle, and we don't want this. We want to be exactly like 90 degrees, a cut. So I would undo and then hit Alt plus A for the Align tool, and then hit Alt plus 1 for the parallel projection, and then hit Alt plus X for cut tool, and I would cut it like this and also like this. And I would select this one and also cut it like this. And now we have these two parts that we can just use the solid tools. Whoops. Okay, now we have the solid tools and then just union these two parts. So now I need to create the cables. So I would go inside of this and then hit the flip tool and then click Control and then click on the red plane. It would make a mirror and a copy. And I would triple click and bring up the profile builder, and I would turn all of these edges into a cylinder by using a circle profile and changing the width and height to 5 centimeters or 0.05 meters, and then click on Build Along Path. Click on Yes, and these profiles have been created. Okay, so I would hit Control A and then hit Control 3 to select only the groups. Or we could just right click and then we have Select Only. And then we can just click on groups. And then turn them into a new group and then hit Control X to cut it and then go outside the group. Control Alt V to paste it in place. And then right click and click on Hide. We don't want it right now. And okay, so now we want to create the mid joint over here. As you can see, we have this part that we want to create. So I could use one of these, and I would move and make a copy of it to this point and just use the S4U slice to slice it. Like that. Okay. And for the outer edges, we could just create a line like this, triple click, and then use a vertex tool, or we could just make an offset to about like maybe 0.3, and then create lines to close these edges into a face. And we could actually, before I close these edges, we could move these or offset these edges down like that, and then delete these two first edges, and we would connect these 2 points and also these 2 points. And we would want to push pull this face over here and also on the other side as well. Okay. So now we can just create this upper part that we have over here. So I can just push pull this face back, and then I would push pull it once again to the correct location once we have created this shape. Okay, so what we would need is 2 circles. So I would create 1 circle over here and also another one right over here, and connect these 2 circles like this, and also connect it to the upper part like this, or we could just offset these 2 edges to over here and push pull it out. And now we can connect this one to over here and also flip it. So I would hit Control to make a copy and then move it to this point. Or we could just move this to over here and connect it to this edge, or this point and this point. So it would be turned into a face. And we can just create bolts as well. But before we do that, we can just push pull this face out. Like this. Triple click and hit Control G, and then push pull this face to over here. And we can also push pull the back part of this to over here and push pull it a little bit more out like this. And we could make also a mirror on the other side. Like this. And we could also offset these edges to over here and push pull them out like this. Okay, so now we have it pretty close, like the one on the image. And now we want to create the bolt, so I would hit Shift plus C to bring in the polygon tool, and then hit Y to activate X-ray. And then I would move my cursor on this edge and then find the center point and click and drag to create a bolt like this. And we would push pull it out to turn it into, a hexagon, or turn it into a bolt. And I would want to find the center point over here and also move it to this side. Okay. All right. Now we want to create the other bolts up here. So I would click and move this one to over here and make 3 copies. And we would also want to mirror or flip these parts as well. Hit the Control key, click and drag the red plane to this point, and we have a mirror. Okay. Actually, the bolts are a little bit too large. We could actually scale them down. like this, and bring it a little bit down. Divide it by 2, and we would flip it over here. And that's it. Okay, so I would want to right click and click on hide, and we want to mirror all these parts to the other side as well. So I would click on flip and move and place it on this point. And I would bring in all the cables. And now we have it. That's how easy it was to create this structure inside of SketchUp. So I would move this to the other side and erase all these extra guidelines and turn these all into a component, and move it back like this and create like 5 copies of it. And we could just create a face. And also another face over here. And we could probably create the opening. This opening. And we could also mirror it. And we would give him material. I would give it a glass material. And yeah, that's it. We could also just turn this into a group and also this one into a group and push pull these faces like 5 centimeters. And just give it a wood material. And we're done. We could actually also edit the wood to be more like the one that we have on the image. And we could also turn on the light and shadows. And this is it. We created the structure. Okay, so this is it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.